Good morning. Got some beautiful sounds out here this morning. Minus the car traffic, of course. Good morning, friends. Good morning. Happy MPA Monday. It's pretty overcast out today here on Morro Bay. Pretty calm water. It's not exactly glass. It's still definitely very calm. Got a lone stand-up paddleboarder out there today. You can see the sand spit in the distance, which for those of you that are somewhat familiar with the area, the sand spit is actually a part of Montana de Oro State Park. Up until just about this line, actually, just a bit north of here, we've got Fairbanks Point right here, and just north of Fairbanks Point, directly across, is the dividing line for Montana de Oro State Park. So south is Montana de Oro, or MDO, and then just north is, I believe, county or city property. Good morning, friends. Got some quick trash right here that I'm going to pick up, and then I'll go ahead and flip the camera. Good morning. Happy MPA Monday. Beautiful day here in Morro Bay. It's pretty cloudy, but it's really nice when it's cloudy. Got some cormorants flying with, I don't know if you can tell, but they've got a bunch of stuff in their beak, preparing for nesting. So they're going to be zipping back and forth. Got another one going in the opposite direction. They're going to be zipping back and forth as we walk along our current location, which is Windy Cove. This is beautiful Windy Cove in Montana de Oro State Park. We are here, sorry, not Montana de Oro, Morro Bay State Park. We are here at Morro Bay, which those of you who are unfamiliar, is about 3 hours north of Los Angeles and 3 hours south of San Francisco, smack dab in the center of the beautiful Central California coast. We've got lots of beautiful features to check out, lots of great views. So I'll try to do my best to point everything out to you. One of them is right here. This is the Morro Bay Natural History Museum, which is currently still closed. But do keep your eyes out for when that will open. We have no idea when that will happen, but we're hoping fairly soon. So Morro Bay Natural History Museum. We've got, I can't see it that well, but just across this road that's right here is the golf course, and just beyond the golf course is actually the Morro Bay State Park campground. You can see a bit of the green from the golf course right here. We've got a cormorant flying overhead. Like I said, they're going to be zipping back and forth. They're very, very busy building their nests. So they'll grab things like this eelgrass here that you'll see all over the beach. All this is eelgrass, washed up eelgrass, twigs, leaves, all kinds of things to build their nest. So again, we're here at Windy Cove. Welcome everyone. We're here at Morro Bay State Park. Got someone coming in who was stand-up paddleboarding right there. For those of you who have been on these MPA Mondays in the past, you may be familiar with the Heron Rookery, which is actually right here. This cluster of trees, you can actually see these dead and dying trees right here. That's actually due to the ammonia in the the urine of these birds that nest up in these trees, which aren't just herons. Actually, there's cormorants, which again are the ones flying over us. We've also got egrets up there as well. So that's the Heron Rookery. So we're here doing an MPA Monday Live. MPAs are an acronym for Marine Protected Areas. We've got another cormorant coming over. Marine protected areas are much like underwater parks. So parks that we're all familiar with, whether it's a state park, a national park, a park down the street from your house, these are all places where we can recreate, where we can play, and where wildlife can thrive. These are protected spaces that are set aside not only for us to enjoy, but for these animals to remain wild. And so marine protected areas are exactly that, much like underwater parks. And here in Morro Bay, we actually have two. The one that we're currently looking at is known as the State Marine Recreational Management Area, or SMRMA for short. And like it says in the name, recreation is encouraged. And you can see we've got, for those of you who were on here earlier, we had a lone stand-up paddleboarder, but now we've got some kayakers out here. We had someone just dip behind the point here, which is White Point, right where the Morro Bay Natural History Museum. This is known as White Point. Across the bay we have the sand spit. You can see the lighter patches there of color. That's sand mixed in with vegetation like sand verbena, which is a beautiful little flower. The sand spit stretches all the way almost to the rock. There's actually a channel in between the rock and the sand spit that I'm going to get very distracted by these cormorants, so you're going to have to bear with me. They're so cool flying over. There's a channel in between the rock and the sand spit, and that's where the water comes in from the ocean or exits out to the ocean. So the sand spit's pretty cool because it helps to protect Morro Bay's waters. So unlike the Pacific Ocean, where it can get pretty wild and crazy, big waves, high tides, strong ocean currents, the bay is able to stay a bit more protected, which is ideal for wildlife. And as you can see, we've got lots of wildlife here. We've got quite a few shorebirds in front of us. I'll try my best not to spook them. I'll give you a shot. It's a little difficult to see them. Can't tell quite what they are from here. So if you know, feel free to let me know. Let the group know. It's always fun to tune into each other's knowledge, share resources. If you're tuning in today, let us know where you're coming from. Let us know if you've been here before. Maybe you've walked along this exact stretch of shore here at Windy Cove. We've got a beautiful egret in the distance, stark white against those trees. like these shorebirds may be, looks like they might be willets. Either willets or godwits. These guys are so neat. Shorebirds are always fascinating to watch. These neat adaptations that they have. Their long, long beaks digging down into all these little holes in the mud that you'll see. I'll show you some of those holes now. And they're all different shapes. So we've got some that are kind of mounded up. Got some that are more concaved. There's all kinds of different invertebrates that live here in the mud. And these shorebirds, with their long beaks, they all have different shaped beaks. Some are long and curved, others are shorter. Yeah, I believe these are willets. And they'll just stick those long beaks down into those holes and start their buffet. So you can imagine that low tide, which we're not quite at just yet. Looks like the tide may be dropping. I'm not quite sure actually. Maybe it is rising. But at low tide, which it can get super low here, this entire bit right here will be all sand. And the water will be a good distance away. And so you can imagine this entire space just filled with different types of holes, whether they're mounded up like a volcano or concaved like a meteor hit it. All of these little holes provide for lots of yummy grub for these birds. So at low tide you can see all kinds of birds, shorebirds, using those long beaks to get their food. Got another piece of trash here I'm going to pick up. Again, thanks for bringing me out here. It's always nice to do some good while I'm out here. Pick up some trash and leave it better than I found it. You can see the heron rookery in the distance there. I mentioned that golf course earlier. You can see it a bit better now. That bright green. Got a big piece of bull kelp right here. Lost you guys for a bit, but I was just showing you that bull kelp. Quite a bit of it actually. Looks much like a bull whip. You can see all this eelgrass right here. This is all eelgrass, a really important ingredient for the health of this estuary. It kind of serves as a staple for a lot of birds out here, a staple food. Beautiful shot right here. So peaceful with the rock in the background. Oh, I'm just seeing your comments now. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Stu. Good morning, Bernice. Bernice says this is one of her favorite birding coves. Yeah, this is a great spot to bird. Bring some binoculars out. You really don't even have to leave your car, because you could just hang out right here on a cold, chilly day if you don't want to go outside and just check out the birds. Good morning, Omar. Good morning, Rita, watching from Orchid. Not too far away. I'm sure you've been here before. It's a beautiful spot. Again, I'm going to try my best not to spook these guys, because they're spending quite a bit of energy getting some breakfast. Maybe this is even a second breakfast for them. Again, if you know your birds, feel free to share in the chat. They have a darker bill, not a darker, it's darker at the tip, which makes me think that they're a godwit, because it has a bit of a turn up like turns upward, not like the root vegetable. They turn upwards a bit, which I believe makes them a godwit. Willets tend to have a much straighter, like a pencil beak. So I believe these are godwits. Again, if you know, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Lots of bird activity out today. Glad you guys could come out with me. I know we've missed quite a few MPA Mondays. I'm glad that you guys could all make it out today. Looks like we might have possibly a marine mammal out there. Oh yeah, they just dropped down. I believe that's a harbor seal. We'll see if I'll keep my eyes out, see if they pop back up. Got some kayakers out there. Beautiful morning to go kayaking. Definitely a bit chilly, but extremely worth it. I'm back. So sorry about that, guys. We're having some connectivity issues here at Windy Cove. So I appreciate those of you hanging on. Just like nature, technology can also be pretty unpredictable. Mentioning the kayakers out in the distance, and then also a harbor seal. They're usually pretty shy, but I will let you know if I see them. I'll try to get a good shot of them for you. Harbor seals are so fascinating. They like to hang out in the back bay, which is this way. So they'll just haul out, especially during low tide, they'll haul out on a bit of sand, or we don't have too many rocks out there, but definitely along the open ocean shore, you'll see them hauled out on rocks. Hoping this connectivity will hold on. If anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to utilize this good connectivity right now. The haze over Morro Rock. So beautiful out here today. Look at all this eelgrass. So much that washes up. But I've actually read that the eelgrass that washes up actually provides a lot of nutrients to the soil here, to the sand, and the different plants that thrive along this brackish water shore. So this water here is a mixture of both fresh and salty water, forming what's known as brackish water. And certain plants are able to survive the kind of salinity that's here. And so I've read that the eelgrass, as it decomposes, got another bit of trash here, as it decomposes, it actually helps to provide more nutrients to all of the different vegetation here. So quiet and peaceful out today. Mornings are the best time for a walk. Actually, evenings too. Evenings are nice as well. I want to thank you all for joining me out here at Windy Cove. Enjoying all the sights, the birds. Short little live, but we saw quite a few birds in that span of time. Beautiful Morro Rock in the distance. We've got Fairbanks Point, the Heron Rookery. Lots to see out here at Windy Cove. Beautiful views. You can see the sand spit, the majority of it really, as it dips behind there at White Point. Of course, the Natural History Museum. Thanks again so much for joining. Again, my name is Robin, out here at Windy Cove at Morro Bay State Park, celebrating another MPA Monday, our beautiful marine protected areas that make up 124 along our California coast. So being able to protect these beautiful California coastal resources is just such a joy for us to be able to come out and enjoy them together. Again, of course, I wish you guys were actually out here with me, but this is the best we've got so far. So thanks for joining me. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and most importantly, stay kind. Bye, everyone.